Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thanks for joining me once again here on Talkin Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. On the eve of the Beterbiev Smith Jr. fight that's going down at Madison Square Garden and Hulu Theater tomorrow night, big light heavyweight showdown. They're putting 3 world title belts on the line. Beterbiev has the WBC and IBF world titles. And he's, by the way, the boxing's only world champion with 100% knockout ratio. He's 17-0 with 17 knockouts. As I said, he's taking on Long Island WBO champ Joe Smith Jr., who sports a record of 28-3. So anyway, that's taking place tomorrow evening. But more importantly, on the undercard in the featherweight division, one of our favorites here on Talkin Fight, Bruce Shushu Carrington, 3-0. Fighting out of, as we all know, Brooklyn. He was making his debut on the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder undercard a while back. That was number 3. That was last year. And anyway, since then, signed with Top Rank, and he's doing quite well. So he's going to be fighting on that undercard as part of the Top Rank team. And we'll see what that result is on Monday. Likely a victory. All right. On to Joe Joyce. His headline reads, Usyk can maybe knock Joshua out. That's like saying, I can maybe knock Joshua out. Anyway, speaking of Joe Joyce, though, he's going up against Christian Hammer at Wembley on July 2nd, and that is the news that I'd like to speak to you today about, taking place at the OVO Arena in London, England. July 2nd, Joe Joyce will battle experienced German Christian Hammer on July 2nd as part of a huge fight night that also features Jason Cunningham and Zolana Tete, Callum Johnson, and Nathan Heaney. And I'll be all live for British fans on BT Sport. After being out of the ring since his defeat of Carlos Takam in July of last year and suffering a broken wrist that kept him out of action in the first half of this year, Joyce takes his place on the Wembley bill against a 34-year-old German Hammer. Said promoter Frank Warren, the most important thing is to get Joe active and confident again after injury. Christian Hammer is an experienced campaigner who will provide a decent test and give him a good fight. But obviously, we expect Joe to come through it successfully and then start preparing for a bigger showdown later this year. It's well documented that it was our intention to bring Big Joe with Joseph Parker in September. But Parker has now opted to sign a promotional agreement elsewhere. Joe's route to a world title does not revolve around Parker, and we have plans in place for a major fight for him in the autumn. So, more news from the heavyweight division, which is pretty clogged up and getting even more clogged up every week. All right, over we go. Remaining in England, though, to other divisions. Tom Brennan taking on a to be announced combatant. He reckons he'll put himself in the fast lane here for success despite his frustration at missing out on ring action. His spell on the sidelines should end when BCB Promotions stage another show at the venue, as I said, in Dudley, UK. And that's set for this Friday, to be, golly gee, that's today, June 17th. So anyway, there we go. Tom Brennan will be fighting tonight, as will Ashley Pettigrew. And Ashley is getting the balance right in a bid to become a successful professional. And he makes his debut tonight over in Dudley. Pettigrew has cut down on his hours as a carpenter to make sure he's available for training. That's split between old and new bases. The 23-year-old from the village of Doxey in Stafford has represented the town's fight factory for all of his boxing experience, which came on an unlicensed circuit. He took 16 unlicensed bouts, 14 of them wins, 10 of those ending in TKO, coming across George Bance 3-0 in that tournament final. His coach, by the way, is Ant Bailey. And also on that bill, taking place this evening, Trion Tudoshashi, and that's Tudoshache, Tudoshashi, finds himself in the position of having neither a winning nor losing record after 2 fights as being a pro boxer. So BCB Promotions put him on this bill tonight. And he'll try again to get his hand raised solely for the first time since turning over last September after amassing 2 draws so far. Tudosashi made his pro debut against their swell journeyman Paul Cummings, which turned into a toe-to-toe battle fought at close quarters. That bout was scored at 38-38 stalemate after 4 keenly contested rounds, with referee Christine making the call. The same occurred on the ring return on February 13th. So for those fight fans over in Dudley, UK, you've got yourself a pretty decent card tonight. Let's fly across the pond and a little bit south down to Ecuador, taking place on July 2nd in Quito. You're going to see Diegoquinones versus Antonio Ocles. They're going toe-to-toe again, and this time with the UBO International Super Middleweight title at stake. And they'll headline a show promoted by Capital Box and broadcast live worldwide on Facebook. In their original encounter in January 2021, Quinones, who's 6-4-1 with 4 knockouts, emerged victorious by 3rd round knockout. The 27-year-old is riding a 3-fight unbeaten streak, including a draw with 16-1 Roger Guerrero. Ocles, who's 11-11-2, is coming off a win last November and is a former Ecuadorian national title challenger and has been longing for revenge against Quinones. Now he gets his chance and a big opportunity to also add a title to his resume. Both men are insisting they will win with ease, but in reality, the spectators are more likely to see an all-out war with plenty of fireworks. The big rematch is upon us. Right on. All right. We have some weigh-in finals coming out of you from, let's have a look here, Doubletree Hotel in Ontario, California. Fight night is tonight, featuring Saul Sanchez going toe-to-toe against Eros Correa. We've reported on this earlier this week. That fight card will also feature Luis Lopez going toe-to-toe against Jalek Bogle, Pedro Valencia up against Mario Aguirre, Nelson Oliva versus Antonio Dorete, and Antonio John Salvador against Genesis Wynn. This is all part of the Path to Glory fight night. It'll take place, as I said, at the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario, California tonight, with doors opening, by the way, at 6:30 Pacific time. As a side note, Beto Duran will operate as the Blow by Blow commentator with expert commentary by Doug Fisher. Jessica Rosales will serve as the on-site ringside reporter. This event is sponsored by Thompson Building Materials, transforming spaces into beautiful places. Well, it's pretty rare that we give a shout out to the sponsor, but there you go. Good luck to them tonight, and we'll have that result for you on Monday. Finally, we're going to report on an upcoming battle taking place at the Utilita Arena in Sheffield, England, where Dalton Smith will go toe-to-toe against Sam O'Mason. Dalton Smith will face Sam O'Mason for the vacant British super lightweight title at the Utilita Arena, Sheffield, on Saturday, August 6th. That'll be shown live worldwide on DAZN, excluding Australia and New Zealand. Smith is 11-0 with 9 knockouts, one of the hottest prospects in world boxing. Claimed his first pro title at Manchester Arena in May of 2021, dominating Lee Appleyard and forcing a punishing 6-round stoppage to earn the vacant English title. Sheffield's most successful amateur boxer of all time added the vacant WBA Intercontinental title to his collection by widely outpointing Spain's Brian Pelez at the Wörthersee Stadium in Klagenfurt, Austria, 4 months later. The 25-year-old halted Roy Malott in the 10th and final round of a one-sided contest for the WBC International Silver title at the First Direct Arena in Leeds in March, before defending that belt with a 6-round stoppage win over tough Argentinian Mauro Pereira earlier this month in Cardiff. O'Mason, by the way, is 17-3-1 with 7 knockouts, and he's a former English super lightweight champ, and he shared 2 close contests with Luton's Kay Prosper in 2019, drawing the first and losing the second, before returning to winning ways with a points win over Sergey Mbomo back in May. Elsewhere, you're going to see super lightweight Sandy Ryan go toe-to-toe against Erica Paras after suffering her first defeat in the pros at the hands of former world champ from Argentina on the Lee Wood Michael Conlon undercard back in March. As well, Romford heavyweight sensation Johnny Fitcher, who's 5-0 returns to the ring after recovering from a hand injury that he suffered in a points win over Gabriel Nguema in front of 2,000 screaming fans of his Romford Bull Armory at the famous Alexandra Palace back in February. Lightweight prospect Campbell Hatton, who's 7-0, 2 knockouts, fights for the third time this year after notching wins over Joe Ducker at the O2 in London in February and Eskel Gagores at the AO Arena in Manchester in April. One of our favorites here on Talkin' Fight, bantamweight, super bantamweight prospect Hopi Price, who's now 7-0. Gets his second outing of the year. Heavy-handed Manchester cruiserweight Jordan Thompson looks to make it 2 knockouts from 2 fights in 2022. And there's action for Mansfield bantamweight Nicole Lavars and Rotherham super welterweight pro debutant Gennard Boston. So a whack of fighting going on over in England on August 6th, set for British fans. And I want to thank you for joining me here on Talkin' Fight today. That's all the news fit to print, courtesy of our friends at boxing247.com. Go visit them for more information on a day-to-day basis. I'll see you later on at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for Mike Orr and Cedric Ben, their show Knuckle Up. And then later on this evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the Friday night panel. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And we'll see you again later on at 4 p.m.